I'd like to welcome our audience here in Farmington and those watching our webcast around the world. Our debate today will feature 6 international experts discussing the basic science evidence, the clinical evidence, and the epidemiological evidence for a branch of medicine known as homeopathy. This form of medicine is currently used by tens of millions around the world. Dr. Rustam Roy holds 5 professorships at Penn State, Arizona State, and the University of Arizona. He is recognized worldwide as a champion of interdisciplinarity and as a leader in the field of materials science. The author of some 1,000 papers, he has been elected to the National Academies of the US, Japan, Sweden, Russia, and India, and knighted by the Emperor of Japan. He is a citizen scientist equally active in the fields of science policy and contemporary religion. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. Rustam Roy of Penn State.
Thank you. I want to start by saying that Dr. Novella introduced me to a new scientific paradigm which I'd never heard about, called the law of plausibility. Thank God we don't have a law of plausibility in science. I don't know what he does for a living, but in science we don't have a law of plausibility. That's how we make advances, because we don't test people and say what you don't know, because that's what's going to surprise you. All our discontinuous changes in the science, history of science have come like that. So let me move on to this. Oh, Alfred North Whitehead. Well, this is taken care of by Dr. Novella. Skeptics and believers are all alike. At this present time, it is the scientists and skeptics who are the main dogmatists. Advance in detail is admitted. That's what he wanted. Laws of similars. Waha. Fundamental novelty is barred. We believe in science, in fundamental novelty, and many of the things which have come about, the miraculous things in science, not in medicine, have come from the law of non-similarity, discontinuity. Okay, the present work is based on rudimentary material science. Unequivocally rejects as scientifically absurd the argument that used for decades and centuries against the feasibility of homeopathy. A homeopathic remedy cannot have any effect at all because the final water must be identical to the water used to make it. You heard it from Dr. Novella. Now, this argument has been repeated ad nauseam up to 2007, and it is totally equal to the unscientific attacks on homeopathy. A typical attitude is shown on the next one. This is from Dr. Novella. It's just water, folks. I mean, it's just water. There's no possibility within physics. Well, forget biology. I don't know why he respects physics so much. It changes all the time. And they say water retains memory. This is the functional equivalent of saying it is magic. Well, you will see the magic happen in Professor Chaplin's work and in our work. Okay, let's check out this nonsense about it's just water. Let's take it's just carbon. Wait a minute. Graphite is just carbon. The world's softest material in the world is graphite. The world's hardest material is diamond. It is just carbon. How come they're so different? So, guess what? Homeopathic waters really do have identical compositions. Composition ain't where it's at. What's different is radically different structures, radically different properties. The first law of material science is properties are controlled by structure, not by composition. Changing liquid water is nothing special. Okay, take standard material science approach to structure of matter. It's the arrangement, folks. It isn't the composition. Structure means how is the stuff put together. And if I will use standard thermodynamics theory, which I've taught for 50 years, and experiments to change the possible, what phases can I change? If I can take one material, make it into another material, and that will be the kind of evidence Dr. Novella is looking for. We will simply use standard material science techniques to characterize these materials. So, experimental thermodynamics. Since the 1970s, we've shown that covalent liquids can have very different structures. Covalent liquids like sulfur, selenium, and so on, and water is one. It has a very strong covalency, and solid water has, to prove it to you, a dozen different crystalline structures, very different structures. So we should expect them in liquid water. Let me show you the data. Structuring homeopathic samples themselves. Ilya and et al. And then Ray have been doing this kind of stuff for a long time in the lab. They've been structuring water in the lab by the homeopathic process and using standard material science techniques. and they were able to change it and demonstrate that. We've actually worked on some homeopathic samples. And I hope Dr. Novella will confirm these or try to deny them. Here's two remedies, Natmur and Nux vomica, and we just show very bad quality control, but here is differences. We are saying there are differences between Nux vom and Natmur. And let's show you this one. There are differences between succussion. The succussion levels cause differences. Summary, our paper provides standard thermodynamic and crystal chemical spectroscopic data to dispose of the anti-science theological center feasibility argument. The key is the homeopathic process itself, which allows for these vectors: pressure, epitaxy, nanobubbles. Three things happen. All three of them can change structure. Now, I believe that nature already has kind of thrown in the towel on the dilution argument. Notice the dates. The Avogadro argument, ladies and gentlemen, will slowly disappear, but they've discovered succussion. And you will see a very funny, this is a little quirky article in Nature, a full-page article devoted to that. So the new target against homeopathy will be succussion. Now, I know nothing about clinicals and all about homeopathy. I have no brief for homeopathy, but I have a brief for the truth, and I have a brief for good science, and that's what I think will happen. So, summary, homeopathic community, we've done you a great favor by saying the main weapon has gone, folks. That main weapon is done. Now, new quality control, however. I think quality control is a new thing that we have provided. You can get much, using these techniques, you can get better quality control.